you would think, ABC, having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit, would think not to engage in conspiracy theories about assassination attempts, but I guess that's too much to ask from The View. I mean, I got to ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that.
What happens when Karoline Leavitt wakes up, turns on the drama, and decides to sue The View like it's her full-time job? Well, it might mean big financial trouble for the daytime talk show stars. That's right, Karoline is back in court with a lawsuit so huge it could be its own little town. Could this be the final, glittery blow that shuts down The View for good? Is Joy Behar about to start selling snarky pillows on Etsy just to pay the legal bills? Don't blink, this TV drama is wilder than a wine-throwing fight on The Real Housewives.
Leavitt appears to be a fierce operator, but she's also 27 and arguably quite glamorous. So of course, the kind and progressive voices at The View reacted to her appointment like this.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Karoline Leavitt has done the unthinkable once again. She marched straight into the glittery madness of daytime TV, stared down the noisiest crew of expert interrupters, and slapped them with another lawsuit so fierce it practically stripped the sparkle off their studio. Yes, she's back at it, because apparently one courtroom battle wasn't enough to make The View's producers think twice about treating controversy like it's part of their brand.
And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show.
Turns out Karoline isn't just annoyed by the liberal media. She's basically turned taking it to court into a full-time job, using the kind of determination most people save for dragging their dog out of a muddy mess. And with this latest legal bombshell, she might have finally hit the mark. The View isn't just shaken, it's wobbling like a wobbly table at a wild reality show reunion.
And the abuse continued.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah. Let
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
So, what kicked off Karoline's latest legal punch? Apparently, she hit her courtroom limit after being served up, yet again, as the main course on The View's never-ending outrage menu. No need for sarcasm, we all know the setup. 5 hosts, 2 coffee mugs, and an endless stream of polished attitude. But unlike the rest of us who just scroll and fume, Karoline took action and filed the papers, and this time, it's not just a little warning. This lawsuit is so massive, it might actually pop up on NASA's next satellite scan.
I mean, you'll deal with these kind of crazy questions from the White House podium. How do you plan to deal with it?
Yes, I absolutely will. I feel prepared to do that. I've been facing the media now, speaking on behalf of President Trump on the campaign trail for the past couple of years, and we are expecting the media to be hostile. However, Kaylee, if you do talk to a lot of these reporters off the record, they will tell you they look forward to more press transparency and access. And while we will expose the fake news when they are fake, we will hold them accountable for their lies and smears of President Trump. I can also assure the American people that they are going to be hearing directly from the leader of the free world.
Now here's where things get really juicy. This isn't just about hurt feelings, it's about serious accusations like defamation, character destruction, and what Karoline's legal team is calling a full-on smear campaign dressed up as casual coffee table talk. Imagine lighting a match in a candle shop and then blaming the explosion on aromatherapy. That's the vibe. According to insiders, Karoline's case is based on a simple idea. If a national TV show keeps treating her like a political piñata, they shouldn't be shocked when the piñata fights back. While the hosts may think they're just tossing around snarky jokes, her lawyers see it more like a high-def takedown wrapped in makeup tips and sponsor promos. But here's the brilliant part, she's not ranting online, she's coming prepared, with every clip timestamped and every jab neatly organized in a binder. And she's not just going after the hosts, she's aiming at the whole operation. If The View were a house, this lawsuit would name the rug, the chandelier, and even the intern who orders the lukewarm croissants. Financially, this is no joke. Word is ABC's accounting team is sweating bullets, haunted by flashbacks of the last courtroom drama, with legal bills soaring and insurance costs through the roof. Behind the scenes, producers are whispering, settlement, like it's some kind of forbidden spell.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China even higher.
Behind the scenes, it's a whole different story. Staffers are quietly moving through the studio like they're dodging subpoenas instead of camera cables, and morale feels like a glitter bomb went off during a tax audit. Joy might still be cracking jokes on screen, but behind the curtain, budget cuts are landing harder than her punchlines, promo shoots are disappearing, guest spots are drying up, and even the once glorious snack table has allegedly downgraded to a BYO granola bar situation. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt is thriving, turning this legal roller coaster into a political stage play so sharp and perfectly timed it makes Shakespeare look like amateur hour at a dive bar. In conservative circles, she's now seen as the calm, strategic powerhouse who brought a noisy media giant to its knees with court filings and quiet determination, no yelling, just razor-sharp legal arguments. And make no mistake, this isn't just for show, it's a full-blown financial siege. Her team isn't just asking for damages, they're building a case that claims The View has been running a long-term, calculated campaign of character takedowns disguised as daytime banter. If the court agrees, the payout won't just hurt, it could shake the entire financial core of the show. While the network keeps up appearances, insiders say it's all smoke and mirrors, legal teams are in overdrive, PR is reportedly in panic mode, and some advertisers are already inching toward the exits, clutching their marketing budgets like lifeboats.
First of all, the Democrat Party has gone woke and now they have gone broke. They have their lowest approval ratings ever, and they are rallying around two of the most far-left leaders in their party, AOC and Jasmine Crockett. So that tells you the current state of the Democrat Party.
Apparently, some brands weren't too happy to find out they might be sponsoring what could soon become Exhibit A in a high-profile courtroom showdown, and here's where it gets really juicy. While The View scrambles to patch things up behind the scenes, Karoline's social media is blowing up, with every new court document turning into content gold, more clicks, more likes, more donations. She's gone from just being part of the news to becoming a full-blown headline generator, powered by legal drama and iced coffee. Conservative voices are already calling her the future of media battles, not by shouting into cameras, but by pulling networks into court. While others rant on podcasts, Karoline's dropping lawsuits like diss tracks. It's not just conservatism, it's courtroom conservatism, fewer hot takes, more cease and desist letters. As for ratings, let's just say they're not climbing any charts. With legal trouble looming and tension backstage nearing full meltdown, viewers are reportedly tuning out. What once felt like a cultural staple now looks more like a PR disaster, and sponsorships that once came easily are quickly drying up, because let's be honest, no brand wants to see its logo next to a possible defamation scandal. That's not exactly how you sell mascara or yoga mats. One insider even joked the show's next sponsor might be a law firm. Meanwhile, Karoline isn't slowing down. Word is her team is digging through old episodes, possibly building a whole lineup of future lawsuits. If The View thought this was a one-time deal, they might want to start rewatching their own reruns, with a lawyer on speed dial.
I think it's insulting that you're trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press. You're asking me for what the president's justification is for these tariffs. It's not up to you. You're not the president, Gabe.
To hire a spokesperson just so that Elon Musk doesn't put out tweets that then confuse federal workers.
Are my press briefings not good enough for you, Jack?
The mission, a full-scale reckoning with what Karoline Leavitt calls the mean girls and makeup empire of television, and if she wins, the word cancelled might get a serious upgrade. If the court grants even a slice of what her legal team is asking for, The View could be facing a future with fewer hosts, fewer sponsors, and way fewer chances to throw shade without someone calling their lawyer. Here's the twist: Leavitt has mastered the art of the double identity, villain to The View's loyal fans, icon to her own supporters. To some, she's a political threat; to others, she's a modern-day folk hero armed with legal documents and unshakable confidence. This isn't just controversy, it's strategy. She's not running from the drama, she's branding it, monetizing it, and using it as fuel. And if you think this is all about ego, think again. Every lawsuit is calculated, every legal win boosts her political capital. She's not just building a name, she's building a resume that says less TV pundit and more media assassin in heels. While The View clings to PR spin and hopes the storm passes, Karoline is already scanning the skies for the next one. This isn't just about one ugly segment, it's about tearing down what she sees as a long-standing machine that's turned gossip into power, all under the soft glow of studio lights.
If you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about. Because President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient. He campaigned across this country with Elon Musk, vowing that Elon was going to head up the Department of Government Efficiency, and the two of them, with a great team around them, were going to look at the receipts.
Karoline Leavitt didn't just file a lawsuit, she launched a full-on political brand, turning courtrooms into her TikTok stage and depositions into extended content drops lit by overhead fluorescence and packed with legal drama. Every court date feels like a new episode in the Karoline cinematic universe, complete with fiery headlines, conspiracy-tinged commentary, and a 3-part Instagram story featuring coffee, contempt, and constitutional fireworks. And it's working. Her social media stats are soaring like a 90s bodybuilding poster, with followers climbing faster than rent, engagement off the charts, and her donation link getting more clicks than The View's laugh track. Forget traditional ads, Karoline is the ad, a viral sensation blending crusader and underdog, winning over every Fox News intern with Wi-Fi and ambition. Conservative media can't get enough. She's already been unofficially canonized somewhere between Ronald Reagan and a bald eagle in couture. She's not just a pundit anymore, she's a symbol of picture-perfect outrage, leading the charge against liberal media theatrics with nothing but court filings and a killer highlight filter. And the most unsettling part for her critics? She's not even yelling, the lawsuits are doing all the talking. This is where the tables turn, and not in a fun reality show reunion way. Usually, The View is the one roasting people online, toasting them like marshmallows at a campfire. But now, they're the ones trending, not for clever comebacks or funny clips, but because they're a growing problem with a huge legal storm they can't laugh off. Karoline didn't just change the game, she rewrote the rules. She's not just angry at the media, she's making money from the drama, turning outrage into a product and shipping it out like a primetime hit. What used to be just a reaction is now her business, and the media. They're the product. Back at The View, the glitter is fading, and the mood is pure crisis. Money worries are real, and you don't have to be an expert to know lawsuits and bad PR cost a lot. With ratings dropping, weak applause, and sponsors sweating like they're on a lie detector, it's a recipe for a slow collapse. Even loyal fans notice the change. The sharp, fiery vibe is gone, replaced by forced laughs and tired banter. Rumors of host changes and production slowdowns are growing, and ABC bosses are already calculating how much longer they can keep this going before quietly pulling the plug and calling it a rebrand. Karoline isn't slowing down either. Her legal team has so many files they could open a satellite office, and they're digging through every moment looking for new reasons to sue. If The View even glances at the wrong headline, she's ready to act faster than you can say defamation. Insiders say this is just the beginning. Karoline is targeting the entire liberal media world like a game of legal whack-a-mole, and she's holding the hammer. This is no longer about one talk show, it's a plan to turn outrage into power. She's turned court documents into money, fame, and influence. If The View was the first to burn, it won't be the last. The collapse isn't from viewers or ratings, it's from a young Gen Z conservative who decided if you can't outshout the media, you sue it until it's silent. Some say it's too much, her fans say it's revolutionary. Karoline's fight isn't a stunt, it's a new kind of war, swapping debates for court cases and clapbacks for legal papers. Now The View is learning this lesson the hard way. Karoline won't back down, but at this rate, the show might end up in syndication limbo or worse, in the daytime TV graveyard alongside shows like Montel and late-night infomercials. The loudest show on TV could be silenced not by viewers or bad ratings, but by a pile of subpoenas and one woman who decided the joke ends here. Call it karma, call it justice, call it Karoline with a capital L for lawsuit. Now, the only question left for The View is, does anyone know a good bankruptcy lawyer, with a sense of humor? Because Karoline just flipped the script, and this time, the punchline is on them.